In today's video, we are going to talk about Apple computers. Why not Apple? Is Apple getting into crypto? What about NASA? Are they developing their own crypto? And Andreessen Horowitz likens this period of crypto to another very famous period in time. We're going to find out exactly what that is. And it all starts right now. Chip here with the XRP Minute. What's going on, people? What's going on in the fine crypto community? What is up, people in the crypto sphere? That's my Alex Cobb right there. I'm working on it. What's up, people in the crypto sphere? So I want to say who came in here first. Well, it's none other than Jeff from How to Review. Bam, OTC. Then we got Zbits33 behind him. Tina Hall is here. SPO, SPO, as I like to say, gaming, crypto, Auburn Rain, okay, I was missing my chipster, chippy, potato chip, chippy chip, dip chip. You got them all in there. That's awesome, Rain. Appreciate that. And who else? Ed is in here. Ed F. Franzikowski. I don't know. I always make a mistake and butcher that up. But Ed, good to see you here as well. And I don't know, guys, tweet this out if you can. Dansky's here. Good deal. Dansky's watching live. He's live. We'll do it live. Threadwork is here. Threadwork Derek. What's going on, Thread? Like that little smiley face there. RTB Dutchy. What's going on? Are we having a party tonight, people? The Dutch man is in the house. RTB, as you all know, stands for, what does it stand for again? Roy the Badass. That's correct. You got that if you guessed. If you're playing along at home, yes, that is absolutely 100% correct. Let's put it back onto the minute. There we go. Boom. A little bit of original artwork in the background there. And I hope it means it. What about Magic? What about Magic? Is that Magic Car? Am I getting that right? 12,475. Good day, good day, good day. So are we good day? Are we from down under with the big old good day? Good day, good day, good day. Yeah, that might be. And Peru Crypto's in the house. What's going on, Peru? How are you? How are you, my man? Good to see you. Patty Chip. There you go. Party Chip. Okay, Party Chip's even better. Yeah, so we're partying tonight. Yeah, let's jump right into it today. We got a lot to cover today, and hopefully we'll get through it in the next 4 to 5 hours. I'm kidding. It's not going to take that long. Don't get excited. Don't get worried. Don't start fast forwarding if you're watching the replay. It's all going to work out. You're going to see as it comes together with beautiful clarity or not so well clarity or just good old-fashioned fun, right? Let's start looking at this thing here. Is that one of my lights in there? I don't know what's going on. Did I not clear that? I don't know. I got something going on in there. Might be over here. Maybe it's a light. I don't know what it is. Something's in the corner there. We don't really. Who cares? Let's get to something really important. I really want to do a deep dive on this because I think this is really important. XRP price changed by minus 1.9%. Okay, next news. On to the next thing here. So we've got Ripple falls out of the LinkedIn's top 10 U.S. startup list, right? So I always like to dissect these articles because they're always a lot of fun to dissect. I like to bring them, go right inside and deep dive. So when I first see this, my first thought is, what? And then I started thinking to myself, well, Coinbase and Ripple fall out of LinkedIn's top 10 U.S. startup list. And all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh, what's going on? Could be bad. Why is that? Why did they fall out? They were in there last couple of years. Well, then you start reading a little bit deeper like you do on a lot of these articles. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase and payments firm behind XRP cryptocurrency Ripple are no longer in LinkedIn's top 10 startup list for 2019. Oh my God, no, please, why? Well, it turns out a networking platform published the list on Wednesday, ranking Coinbase at 29 and Ripple at 28. Last year, the former was ranked at 3rd and the latter 7th. LinkedIn ranks U.S. firms' popularity by analyzing their performance across 4 categories: employee growth, job seeker interest, member engagement with the company and its employees. Eligibility criteria. Let's talk about that. To be included in a list is that a company must be 7 years old or younger. Okay, people, what do we hear? As 7 years or younger. Both Coinbase and Ripple being founded both in 2012, won't have another chance to appear on the list as they may be older than 7 years. I mean, technically they're there on the cusp right now, right? So, they're making it look as though they just slid into, 29th and 28th place. And, it couldn't be further from the truth. Topping this year's list is Snowflake Computing. Don't know them. Never heard of them. Cloud-based data warehousing startup. And again, these are true startups. Startup I thought really had to be within anywhere from 3 to 5 years to be considered a startup. That's the whole idea. Startup as in getting going, right? They're starting up. They're getting going. They're not going, right? They're not going quite yet. So this is always kind of a fun thing. Yeah, and also Robinhood provider too. Robinhood, I was an early adopter there. I'm enjoying watching my MGI rise. I think it hit 470 today, and I bought it when it was $1 something. I don't know. So that was a good one, and that really came on the news. Obviously, I think that might have been just right around the Ripple partnership. I don't remember exactly what it was. $1 something. You guys would probably know. Topping this year. So yeah. So we have, although one platform. It was funny when I first started this broadcast tonight. I didn't have my mic here. I was like, I usually have my mic here. My mic was, and I put it out of frame because nobody needs to see this. It's like, oh, I gotta sit talking to this. Like, my God, no one needs to see that. So I usually put it out of the frame right there. But I also tuck it away when I'm not using it. And today it was actually tucked away at the back of my computer. So I don't know if that sound came out. And here I am fidgeting around for it. Usually I have that stuff put together. Not tonight. What's going on in the chat? Who else popped in here? Leo Bandera. Oh yeah, Punk is here. Who else popped in when I wasn't looking, when I wasn't paying attention there? Oh, XRP Angel Connie is here. What's going on, XRP Angel Connie? What? Andrew Nation's here? Whoa, this is an awesome night. What's up, Andrew Nation? Nice, man. Good to see you in here too. I really appreciate that. So let's go through this. What are we looking at next? What's next up on the chip agenda here? So Andreessen Horowitz, I teased this a little bit at the beginning of the video. Andreessen Horowitz, at their summit, they said crypto. Now, we said this. Other YouTubers have likened it to when the internet first started getting going. I liken it to really, I jumped in the internet right around 95-ish, really beginning January, February 95, started building websites, started work. I've been working in and around the net, building, websites, but really, business to business, high-end commercial stuff, and then obviously moved on to real estate tech. But 95, I always likened it to 95, 96. What Andreessen Horowitz is saying basically is they're going back even further. They're likening it to 1992, and maybe they're right. Think about it. 1992, right? So, the internet didn't really get moving until 94, 95, started blowing up around 96, and then you had Yahoo come out, then later followed by Google, and then you had to just anybody that could put a .com on the end of something got money. It's like pets.com. Here's $1 billion. Go do something with it. And they did. They had giant parties. They had swimming pools. They had bars inside and they didn't make any money. They lost it all and they flushed. And then we had the .com crash. And that wasn't so much fun either. That was kind of a disaster. And hey, I want to shout out Auburn Rain because he just sent me 0.0589 3 times, man. Thank you very much for that, Rain. I appreciate that. I saw my phone blinking and lighting up like a Christmas tree. I was like, what's going on over there? And it turns out Rain's just patronized. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Dansky's here. Hey, did I mention Dansky? Of course I did. Yeah, Dansky, I know the last couple times you had to end up watching the replay, and it's always good to have you here live, man. So this is kind of a cool take. Now, in my last video, there was the 16Z. They just did, I posted 5 really awesome videos. Obviously, we don't have time to watch them. I don't play other people's content here unless they're on the show and we have permission. But there's some really good, how you call them? This is actually a podcast, but they did some real nice video presentations. In a fireside chat during the summit, Mark Andreessen drew parallels between the beginning of the internet and the beginning of cryptocurrency, describing remarkable similarities of the growth paths. He went on to say the evolution of the internet over time has so many echoes and comparisons to what we're seeing and what I'm seeing with cryptocurrency and blockchains, the Netscape co-founder said. So I remember when Netscape went, I remember all the hoopla, hoopity doopity doopla. There was a lot of hoopla when Netscape went live. I had some friends that were in on the IPO, and made a bunch of money on that. And that's really where Mark Andreessen made all his money. He had really the first commercial sensible, when they released Netscape as a browser. I mean, we don't know Netscape today, But again, now you're using Chrome, using Safari, you're using Opera, Mozilla, you're using Brave, any one of these type of browsers. But he was the first, and that's where he got his big, big bags of money, and that's how he started a venture arm. I think that's pretty much on this one. He said the early days were characterized by small and marginal players, he noted, largely dominated by fly-by-night operators. And I actually said that. It was pretty much anybody. Security was weak, commercial viability was questionable, Main Street adoption was hampered by technological processes. I remember doing video, putting video stuff up there, and it was so bad. It was like a slideshow with okay audio. It was like it was really bad. But again, it's like we were pushing it, trying to get it. Broadcast.com, you had Mark Cuban who sold that for like $1 billion plus. And what was great about it was when he sold Broadcast.com, he showed it anytime he was demoing it to somebody. Of course, he had T1 access, so they had very big bandwidth. It turned out that nobody else could really take advantage of that. So when anybody came to look at, oh my God, this is fantastic. And business to business, they had great access to the internet and great broadband. However, more people, it was too early, way too early. Nobody else could take advantage of it. So those early days, they're spot on about this. The parallels of crypto in the eyes of Andreessen Horowitz are stunning. The original sin of the internet. According to Andreessen, the internet suffered from its original sin. Browsers lacked a buy button. So spot on about this. I remember having conversations with friends who are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm building websites. They're like, oh, isn't that a fad? Don't you think that's going to burn out? I'm like, man, you'll be doing everything on the internet. You'll be banking, you'll be buying stuff. Meanwhile, it was so hard to buy something on the internet, really difficult. Security was bad, and you really weren't buying anything. And he's absolutely right about that. You weren't able, they were right. You couldn't really buy anything. It was just a disaster. But again, early days, look where we are now. I think our biggest issue we face today, it's custody. It's like Aunt Clara can't figure out, basically how to use her smartphone. And I'm not saying he knocks against Aunt Clara because she's a swell gal. But Aunt Clara's like, how do I send, what do I do and get a tip on, oh man, another one from Rain, 0.0589. Thank you, Rain. Much appreciated, my man. She can't figure out the smartphone. So, she's not going to get, you got to send it to an address with a tag. She'll be able to scan it. Sure, she'll be able to scan it. But I'm saying right now custody is an issue. And sometimes we know people out there, and I'm not naming any names, maybe it begins with a P and ends with an E. That's a little bit, there's two initials in between. But sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you think it's a better idea to actually visually type it in instead of copying and pasting. But sometimes you don't copy and paste the right thing, you type the wrong number. And my point is that it's easy to send your crypto to some other wallet and it's gone forever. When you see these whale moves, like what kind, do they have like a giant button? You get like 6 people standing around the button and they go, okay, we're ready to move $689 million. And, imagine the person that gets that number wrong. How do they do that? Like, how do they ensure that they send a few back and forth? Do they, you know what I mean? Because, it's easy to do. And what if that ends up in your wallet? Like all of a sudden you're hanging out, boom, you get something, you look and you realize, oh crap, how did I end up with all this in my wallet, right? Like, how did this happen? And all of a sudden you got $589 million worth of crypto, of XRP in your wallet. And that's kind of a weird thing, but it could happen. Oh, look at this, and a big old 5XRP from Jeff from How to Review. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you guys, much appreciated. Oh, it's my dad calling in. I guess he doesn't know I'm in the live stream. I tell him I'm live streaming, but yeah, there we go. Hey, another 8 XRP from Jeff in the How to Review. Hey, Dad, how you doing? I'm Yeah, well, I called you because I butt dialed you, but I'm actually on a live stream right now. Can I call you back? I just want to make sure it's nothing important. And we're live streaming this right now. And all right, bye. Yeah, so what happened was I butt dialed Dad a couple hours ago, and he's like, "Hey, you dialed me like 3 hours ago?" Because eventually you remember, you're like, "Oh crap, he called me." The phone is so responsive. You click it, and it's dialing. You're like, "No, no," and you hang up. But if somebody on the other end gets that initial, that call right there, which is always kind of fun. So, yeah, thank you very much. What's going on? Another 9 XRP from How to Review. Knock it off, man. Seriously, now I appreciate that. Thank you, but man, you throw me off base when you start like lighting my phone up over here. I don't know what's going on. What is Spo saying? You and me both, Tina, not getting any younger. Yeah, well, that's kind of a sad thing of life. That's what happens. We don't get any younger. And it turns out we just get older. But, sometimes, Benjamin Button's, that movie with Brad Pitt, and I guess he got older, but it turned out he got younger. I don't know. I never saw the movie. It seemed like an interesting concept, but I don't know. I didn't really take a look at it. I teased this a little bit. Cryptocurrency has long-term potential, says Apple exec, right? So Apple's watching cryptocurrency according to an executive at the tech giant. Apple Pay Vice President Jennifer Bailey, talking to CNN in a private event in San Francisco, said, we think it's interesting. We think it's interesting long-term potential. We think it has long-term potential. And so, yeah, of course it does. Bailey did not elucidate about the possible uses of the technology Apple may pursue. Well, it's the same way. Apple's not going to say, by the way, wouldn't you like to know what we're working on? We've been hearing about this Apple event that's coming up. And I know I saw a tweet today from Apple, and it's like this, and you'll get a notification. I don't know. It's coming up in the next couple of days. But we've been hearing that they're teasing something for a long time. Now, I love Apple Pay. Apple Pay is what Andreessen Horowitz was talking about in the previous story, missing a buy button. Because I got to tell you, if I'm looking at something, I casually look on my phone or get an alert, like some goofy gadget, some weird thing that I had to have. It's like when I was in Chile, I saw this guy making his handmade art, and I had to have this. This is one of the things that I had to have right there. Boom. That's kind of cool. I don't really know what it is, and I haven't hung it up or anything, but it's really awesome. I had to have it, right? So, these are things. But with the Apple Buy button, and Google Play, Google Buy is the same thing, right? You see that button somewhere, boom, you click it. I hold it up to my face. It knows who I am. Bleep, bleep, boom. Doesn't need an address, nothing. It's a one-click button for the internet. That's what's cool about it. And Google Pay is the same thing. So you see that button there. And man, is it dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous enough to go on Amazon and be able to click that one button, but I'm telling you, it's something else. With Facebook planning to launch its Libra stablecoin next year, it'd be surprising indeed if Apple were not watching crypto. Yeah, and I have to say, come on, you think really? I mean, how gullible are we? Do we not believe that Google's working on it? Do we not think that Apple's been working on something? Samsung's rolling out their wallets and their phones. I mean, everyone's working on it, but no one's going to be out there touting it, telling out the competition like we're doing this. It's the same way we keep hearing about over 200 partners of Ripple. However, they can only announce when they can announce, when the other partner says, hey, it's cool, let's put this out. And they also probably want to have everything ready to go as well. So I'm keeping a close eye on that as well. So Brave accuses Google of secretly leaking personal data. What is going on here? So, we all know Brandon Ike, he's the CEO, former CEO of Mozilla. Google's woes continue. Also to YouTube, saw another thing where they got hit because on falsely being able to advertise stuff to kids, and that broke some kind of a rule. So they're spending investing $150 million. They actually have, it's funny, I flipped open today YouTube and I got the thing, do you want to download the YouTube for kids? And no, I mean, it's bad enough they ask me to go pro all the time. Do you want to go pro? Do you want to go pro? No. Do you want to go pro now? How about now? How about now? No, no, no. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Because, the only real feature of that is, I don't know, I guess I can listen to it and put it in my pocket without having the screen on, without it turning off. In a statement via their website, Brave Chief Policy and Industry Relations Officer, Dr. Johnny Ryan. Johnny Ryan sounds like a cartoon character. It's like, hey, I'm Johnny Ryan. Johnny Ryan claims to have uncovered a way in which Google secretly feeds data to its advertiser through hidden pages. Huh. Whoa, do tell more. The evidence we've submitted, and this is Brandon Ike in a tweet submitted to the Irish Data Protection Commission, proves that Duda's leaked my protected data to an unknown number of companies. One cannot know what these companies then did with it because Google loses control once it was sent. So this is kind of an interesting thing. This plays into another story we have coming up about Google, and it's funny because it's kind of a Google Apple Play, not Apple Play, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. Google's already facing antitrust allegations in the U.S., but it'll have to divide its attention to the EU after Dr. Ryan submitted the evidence to the Irish Data Protection Commission. So yeah, you can see that. It's interesting. It's like if you get caught, yeah, I mean you're gonna have to fess up. But I even wonder, do we even know if Google even knows what's going on anymore? It's kind of like this giant machine. I mean, it would just take one errant programmer or a couple to be able to be working on it. You know what I mean? Does everyone know what's going on inside the company anymore? And again, here's a little video on it, finding a Google push page cookie push on a publisher site. The exploit was discovered after Brave commissioned a private contractor, Zach Edwards at MetaX, to analyze the browsing history of Dr. Ryan. And they confirmed that Google did indeed broadcast his personal data. So guess what that means? Now, Dr. Ryan, I don't know him. He's probably a cool dude. But if they're basically breaching his data, guess who's up for that? Yeah, guess who's all over that? Us, right? That's you. That's me. That's right. We know this. Don't we expect this really? We certainly do. Just out from the team of Meta Exchange, during our research for Brave and Google's cookie push GDPR workaround, we found that OpenX created their own workaround within Google cookies Google push. So yeah, there's another violation there. And another story that I teased up here was about NASA. We've seen a little bit going around NASA, but that's coming up in 1 second. So the NSA, we've heard about this quantum resistant crypto for nefarious means. Is it going to be a nefarious means? Well, we don't know, but U.S. National Security Agency, better known worldwide as the NSA, is going from crypto surveillance to crypto creation. According to Bloomberg reporter William Turton, the agency is developing quantum-resistant crypto. And we did a story just on Tuesday about the Elixir project. They're also venturing into the same space. William Turton tweeted that Ann Neuberger, director of NSA's new cybersecurity directorate, says the agency will propose hardware and software standards again. Also note the agency is working to build quantum-resistant crypto. I don't know about this. You know, the NSA, they're the snoopsters. They know where the bodies are buried. You know what I mean? They know everything. Do we need them getting into building crypto? Yeah, they're watching you and your crypto. They sure are. You know, even Snowden. Snowden has a little clip on here as well. The government is Satoshi Nakamoto. Of course, the NSA would have fabricated these leaks to throw off their trail. Some people believe the government created Bitcoin to carry out incognito operations. We've heard this before. So it follows that they want to make it quantum resistant. Why covertly create the flagship digital currency to carry out nefarious business if it can be hacked? But almost anything can be hacked. Created by humans, going to be able to be hacked. AI can hack it. It's just a matter of time, really, right? It comes down to just a matter of time. It's all going to get hacked. But hopefully it's safe. Here's another great story. Blockchain, you know, we always like to follow the money. Where's the money headed? So we have this blockchain.com plans to raise $50 million to fund crypto startups. Now, I love stories like this. When you have somebody who's steeped deep into crypto like blockchain.com, they're going to go ahead and raise a fund. And what they're going to do is fund other startups. They'll take a piece of it. It'll probably be, you know, start maybe doing some angel stuff, maybe some first round type of stuff. But this is great to see for the ecosystem. According to Harrison's LinkedIn profile, the fund's already established and it's currently backed by Lightspeed Venture Partners, co-founded Blockchain Ventures A Capital Fund, anchored by Blockchain.com, the world's largest non-custodial wallet platform, and Lightspeed Venture Partners, reads his LinkedIn profile. So this is actually really good. I love when you see this, and we're seeing a lot of this. Where's the smart money going? You know, we talk about the cryptocurrency side of it. We talk about what's happening, you know, with the digital asset side, but you have to look at what kind of money. What about the venture capital money? What are people putting their hedging their bets? I believe that says a lot about the sector, probably more so. It's very telling because when the dot-com sector and people are like, is this really going to happen? And you saw venture capital money just going crazy. You know, it went a little bit overboard. I get it, but that was what was happening, and that really fueled the economy really worldwide, and really kind of landed some amazing companies on the map like our Googles. You know, Yahoo used to be a pretty big player, but there were a lot of people that came out of that. You know, in the early 2000s, we had LinkedIn, so it really kind of paved the way for what was to happen. Blockchain.com's well-known cryptocurrency wallet supports Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum also provides charts, data, blah 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 blah. So this is a really good thing. I see Tone Vei's name. We're going to flip on that. Yeah, we're going to go past that. No, we're not going to talk about that. Here's another one. What's happening? Where's the smart money going? Coinbase Ventures invests in Off-Chain Labs, Ethereum scaling solution for smart contracts. The enterprise-focused startup today releases a new alpha version, which allows for over 500 transactions per second. That's pretty fast. If you think about it, 500 transactions per second. Off-Chain Labs is an enterprise-focused startup. It's launching its alpha version. It's also announcing funding from Coinbase Ventures. So Coinbase has a venture arm. So Coinbase is also fueling money and what's happening. So you get all these companies that are putting more money into the ecosystem. Man, like I've always said, that, rising tide floats all boats. When we start seeing the blockchain and everything being tokenized, we're headed towards mass adoption. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, although it could happen tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, it could be 2020, something along those lines. So when you see this, it's another story of where the money's headed, right? The money, everyday random shite is in here as well. What's up, everyday random? Hey man, you're lifting a beer. Cheers to you. Cheers. I wish I had a beer right now, but I don't have any more beer. I just checked a little bit earlier. I have nothing. Matt LaRoche is here, and Jane Twinator is here as well. Hey, you're late to the party, but listen, Jay, the party's always ongoing here, in the chip stream. We're always happy here to have everybody join. And you know what? You're never late. You just, and always the important people show up. You never go to a party and it's like, the important people come in a little bit later because, they're busy, important, they got stuff going on, man. So you come in, man, there's always a good time to join. And sometimes RTB will join like with like 30 seconds left and he'll be like, what did I miss? And somehow I feel like he's been lurking the whole time, although I can't prove it, but it's like, what did I miss? And I think it's just a way to tweak the chipster over here, which is fun. I like that. Check this out. So Binance Labs, and I'm really digging this decrypt. I've seen a lot of cool stories on this, and I also like this their little logo here that spins around. You can get it going pretty good, If you're like, wondering about time, you don't know what to do, you can just spin that sucker all day. It's like one of those fidget spinners. Remember those things were pretty big, click, 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 and spin. That's pretty good. So check this out. So Binance Labs leads a 5.7 million Series A in DAPIX to build interoperable blockchain tech. I mean, look at just the blockchain news that's happening. We have the VC, the blockchain companies become the VCs. They start fueling the ecosystem. This is good. Ali G. Hey, Ali G. Good day. Good day. Did I say that right? Good day. Good day. Good day. DNI is in here. What's going on, DNI? How are you doing? And RTB, see what I say? He jumps in. RTB usually, like I said, he waits the last 90 seconds to pop in to see what's up, what's going on. Binance Labs. So this is pretty good. So Binance, obviously they're putting money into stuff. And we just talked. We have 3 stories back to back to back. Maybe a 4th one. Did I miss one? There might have been another one. I don't remember. Who knows, really? But I love this story. And again, interoperable crypto wallets at DAPIX just got a little bit fatter to the tune of $5.7 million, which I like. The money will allow DAPIX to launch its FIO mainnet sooner than expected. And I don't know what they expected, but whatever that soon was, it's sooner. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be better, faster. Money will allow DAPIX to launch. The Foundation for Inter-Wallet Operability now consists of 25 crypto wallet providers, exchanges, and other crypto-focused ventures. DAPIX CEO and co-founder David Gold told Decrypt, the FIO protocol will be the industry standard usability layer for the entire blockchain ecosystem. That's pretty bold. He said, I just added the bold part. He said several notable companies within the crypto industry are already FIO members, including Eric Voorhees' crypto exchange Shapeshift, Roger Vere's Bitcoin.com, Mycelium, MyCrypto, and Binance Trust Wallet. So yeah, they're making some penetration. What does this mean for you? What it means is that we are inching ever closer to just massive explosion. Except for one explosion, not an XRP. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get excited. I know what you're thinking. I don't want to pop that bubble for you, but don't get excited because you know why? Because guess what? It may not happen. But I love our favorite stablecoin, XRP. So no. NASA did not say that it's developing its own cryptocurrency. So this was making the rounds around the Twitters. It was heading around. I was just everywhere about NASA's developing their own cryptocurrency. And yes, I teased a little bit in the thumbnail. But let's talk about this. Let's get one thing straight right now. Crypto means cryptography. It does not mean cryptocurrency, unless you're a person who thinks the blockchain is the future, that is, which is how we ended up with the dumbest news cycle this side of the measles outbreak. This is a fun article. I like the way it's written. The writer's having a bit of fun with it. On Wednesday, Bloomberg reporter and tall-lost son of Gizmodo, William Turton, tweeted that the NSA is working on a build quantum-resistant crypto based on blah, blah, blah. We just covered that story, and Mr. Turton If I say Turton, it feels like I'm saying his name wrong, and maybe I am, but I think that's how you pronounce it, Turton. It seems like I'm mispronouncing something. Before you can say HODL review, no, it says HODL, doesn't say that. Some enterprising bloggers caught Turton's tweet and they turned it into content, apparently thinking they had some sticky news on their hands. The problem is they were dumb and they were wrong. You see, NSA stands for National Security Agency, a government agency long known for its work on encryption. It does not, as you may have already deduced, stand for NASA. Okay? That key detail eluded Forbes contributor Naeem Aslam, who concluded from Turton's 29-word tweet that the American Space Agency was developing. You know how it is. You're on the internet one day, you're on the Twitters, you're flipping around, you're like flippity flips, on your phone, doing your thing. You just happen to see something and then you go crazy about it and you're, oh, I'm sorry. Boom, just got a 0.1 from RTB Dutchy. Thank you, Dutchman. Thank you, Dutchman. Appreciate. Let me see, what do we got? What else did I miss here? What else did I miss? Oh, Spo, look at Spo. Spo gave a, Spo, thank you so much, man. 5. Look at that, 5 XRP. Thank you so much, Connie Stewart. Look at this, 0.05. We've got HODL with a bunch of them. Oh, thank you. Are you going to start blowing my phone up, Roy the Badass? I'm not going to call you Roy the Badass. You just blew it up again at 0.1. It's going to be lighting my phone up here. He wants to hear it beep. Go ahead. Make it rain. Make it rain. Go ahead. And I don't mean like Auburn rain. I mean make it rain. See, there's another 0.1. So you can kind of see what's going on here. I do appreciate it, but I might have to turn the ringer off to be, boom, he's blowing it up. I think last time this happened, I think AJ Anthony Jackson was going on this as well. So anyway, this, they read it a little bit wrong. NSA missing the A. All of a sudden, it became, Forbes, because they're well known for getting things right. And if you don't believe me, just ask Crypto Eddie. She knows. She's gone off on them once in a while. Okay, Dutchy's given. Okay, another one, 0.5. All right, man. Thank you. So, holy cow, he's blowing it up. I'm gonna have to turn off the ringer, man. Got to turn it off. All right, are you happy? I'm happy. We're all happy. Everyone's happy. The whole world is happy right now. Well, I wouldn't say that exactly, but what else did we miss here? What's Jeff saying? Got financial advice from Twitter and my political news from Facebook. And again, Jeff, if that's true, it has to be right because we saw it on the internet, right? And what is Leo saying here? He says, when one door is closed, don't you know what many more are open? That's absolutely true. That's such a true statement. It's overdone. Allie G says she gets her financial advice from Twitter. Well, of course you do, Allie. Where else would you get it from? I mean, be honest with yourself. Where else would you get it from? I get it from my financial advisor, Jungle Inc., or, I also rely heavily on Jeff over at the HODL Review because I figure they're pretty smart and they know more than I do. And it has to be right. How could they be wrong, really? He's continuing to blow it up. What's going on here? Blowing up my phone. Yeah, my phone is just blowing up. Yeah, thank you. All right. And Coinbase, this is something really good, near dear to my heart. We dodged, down here, Jeff from HODL Reviews right down the road from me. There's a lot of XRP community here in South Florida, and we got lucky. One of the most dangerous storms really known in a long time. I mean, it had speeds about 180, but gusts over 200 miles an hour. That's crazy. Coinbase is doing an awesome thing. They are enabling Bitcoin donations to Bahamas hurricane victims. And I got someone out there that wants to offload some Bitcoin. Craig Wright, looks like he's sitting on a giant bag. Victims of Hurricane Dorian can now get monetary aid via cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin through a partnership between Coinbase and Lend a Hand Bahamas. This is really cool too. I know Jeff from HODL Reviews talked extensively about this, about really if we're going to start talking about organizations, we want to start really tracking it on the blockchain. Why? Because we're going to see where every money was spent. What wallet was it transferred? Who owns the wallet? Where was that money spent on? It's better than any paper trail because most of the time there isn't a paper trail. Donations for victims are being accepted through Bahamas based nonprofit Lend a Hand Bahamas, which is partnered with both Coinbase and BitPay to allow those in need to accept monetary donations in the form of cryptocurrency. Coinbase tweeted out, looking for a way to help those affected by Hurricane Dorian, Lend a Hand Bahamas has set up a Coinbase Commerce account to easily accept crypto donations for relief efforts. This is a great thing, and I'll put this down below. But guys, take a look at this. Go look at their account. If you want to be able to donate just a little bit, help out, a helping hand. I mean, that storm, that hurricane literally was moving 1 mile an hour. It was basically stationary and pounding the island, and it was just merciful. Just it was unleashed holy hell on them. And I don't know if you've seen some of the videos; they're hard to watch. But if you can, again, if you can, make a donation. I like this because it's blockchain based, and we can see what actually happens to the funds. Next up on the Chip XRP Minute. Oh no, the EU, and it's finally EU news, and it's not Brexit, but it's EU antitrust boss flags Facebook crypto Libra for monetary risk. So what's going on there? Well, turns out Facebook Libra must not stifle competition. Well, first of all, they haven't even released it. They put out a white paper just to kind of get a little feedback, and we all saw how well that went. To address this, investigators said European regulators are examining the potential anti-competitive threats posed by Libra. I don't see how is that possible? Do you think she's aware of how many cryptocurrencies there are? There's like 2,000 cryptocurrencies. Explain to me what is going on where it's anti-competitive, right? So yeah, of course Facebook has a platform, but go build your own platform. Go invest 15 years growing a platform. What am I going to tell you? I don't get this, but it's a lot to do about nothing. We can even look at the new services even before they're introduced. Investors said at a conference in Bergen, Norway. This is what we're doing right now with Facebook's plan for new cryptocurrency, looking at known as Libra. We're looking at whether those proposals create risks for competition so we can be ready to act swiftly. Did they say swiftly? Yes, they did. As an intervention were to prove necessary. An intervention? What intervention we need? We need different kind of interventions, like your pal goes on the lam for 3 weeks and a drinking, drug, and binge. That's when we need an intervention. There's 2,000 plus cryptocurrencies. A lot of projects are failing daily, and there's new projects being announced, like Yeti Coin. I hear Bigfoot coins in development. There's all kinds of stuff that is going on out there. Competition makes champions. Well, I hate to enlighten you, but there's plenty of competition. So, it's just like most of these articles I read, start reading them, sounds like a good idea. And again, the competition and competitiveness in the EU, I always think, that's what happens when you look at like organizations like the EU or even central banks or, governments, when they're the ones picking the winners and losers, almost everybody loses 100% of the time, except if you're one of the elite few that get to just carry on with your world and fly around the world and have a good time. And that's always, it's never going to affect you there. Tip Chips Tipper. Tip Chips Tipper, says Tina Hall. Yeah, that's what she says. And Tina Hall sent 0.5. Thank you very much, Tina. I appreciate that. Holy cow. Whoa. You're back to Roy the Badass status. You are officially back. Well, you're always back. I kid you, man. You have 15 XRP from RTB. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Another 0.589 from Auburn Rain, who holds this very seat tomorrow night. And if you're not tuning into our, his show, you're missing a lot. There really is no other perspective like Rain's. He really brings a unique perspective that out of really almost anybody out there that's streaming. He really ties a lot of stuff together, and it's kind of I liken it to probably in the same neighborhood as a DNI, but DNI is I'd say a little bit different, but I'd say there's some similarities and overlaps there. So if you like DNI's thing, I'm not saying you're gonna like, but I'm saying try it out, give it a shot. I mean, we love DNI, of course. But yeah, go check out Rain. Just click on his right next to his name there, those 3 dots. Go sub. You'll know when he drops the video. He drops it at 5 California time and on 8 o'clock on 8 o'clock on oh yeah, the East Coast. That's where I'm located, the East Coast. Right. And I saw a tweet today from XRP Carolina right before I went live, and it said, oh my gosh, I've already lost power. The storm hasn't hit yet. And he said the worst part of it, I think his phone was down to like 30%. And that's when we really freak out, right? Not the chipster, man. I have so many battery backups. I've got one giant one that I've coined the name Bertha. It'll run for like a phone for 3 days. It's massive. And I had to start naming it because then the kids take them. It'd be like, hey, where's the big black charger? Where's the gray charger? Where's the one that looks like a Lego block? But if I said, where's Bertha? Everyone knows where oh, yeah, okay. Bertha always ends up missing for obvious reasons, right? So check this out. YouTube launches a dedicated fashion vertical. Well, the reason they would do that, fashion's huge on YouTube. But you know what? You know what I'm saying right now, YouTube, if you're listening and monitoring this and you're going back and you have your keywords, I want you to launch a dedicated crypto or a blockchain vertical. That's what I'd like to see. Everyone loves fashion. You know, one of the kids at my daughter's school, she just graduated this year, had something like 400,000 subs. She was still in high school. Yeah, that was pretty good. 400,000 subs for a beauty thing. It was actually pretty well done. But that's pretty cool. You know, you could be in high school, get up to 400,000 subs. I think she might be closer to 450 now. It's pretty amazing if you think about it, isn't it? Maurice, what does he say? What's Maurice saying? Hey, Maurice, you snuck in the back door. I didn't see you. Yes, you know what? I'm good. You know, Maurice, thank you. I might need the name. Well, I'll tell you what, just for the heck of it, why don't you give me HSBC? Because I told you I would forget it, and you're right. I forgot it again. It was at Hong Kong, Siberian, hoarding police. I don't know what it is. HSBC. I didn't even get the initials right. I lost your tweet. It's like flying by over there. But yeah, I always need a reminder. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. So yeah, this is kind of a cool thing that they lost this dedicated. And I can see this happening one day. And we'll go back to this video and say, remember that time when Chip was talking all that nonsense about being a blockchain channel? Well, yeah, when we start lifting off, once it's seen, because why? Because, you know, if you look at beauty right now, it's really taken over. And man, it's amazing. So my wife turns me on to some really interesting YouTubers, some vegan people. I'm always impressed by the delivery, how they do this stuff. And recently I got turned on a whole slew. I might just have to do like a special just on YouTubers. I don't know, it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency, but I can do some YouTubers, maybe get some feedback from you, like some YouTubers you like. Maybe we'll do a show. I don't know what you guys think about that idea. Let me know down below. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Let me know if you think it's a terrible idea. Like, Chip, why would you talk about YouTubers, man? I mean, we're talking about XRP. And I did a very important story about XRP. It's minus 0.125. I did that story. We spent about 13 seconds on it. So I would like to see that launch sooner rather than later. So what did we, okay, so Maurice, thank you very much. Just so a reminder for everybody, the HSBC stands for Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. And one of these days you're going to ask me and I'll be like, no way, man. It's Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. Everyone knows that. Of course, I'll forget it by the next time because I mean, it's Tuesday next time we go live here. What is Jeff saying over there? That I don't even know what word that is. I don't even know what that is. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah, Leo, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good tune right there. Halifax Bank drop off at 3%. Is that 3% or 3 point? Yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, thank you for the XRP news brief. Yeah, thank you, man. And it was a news brief because that's all the time we really need to spend on that story. I mean, it didn't really need to go on that long, did it? Did it? I think you'll agree with me. But let me know, really. I just thought we worked up this idea together. We're sitting here, we're talking, we're having a nice fireside chat. And you know, do you like the idea of doing YouTube, like talking about famous, favorite YouTubers and why we like them? Maybe bring some guests on. I don't know. Maybe it's a horrible idea, but I'm sure you're gonna let me know either way. You can also let me know in the chat. I don't know. Let's see what happened here. My ad blocker here. There we go. So look at this. So this is another one of these fun stories. So reps from DHS, the FBI, and ODNI met with tech companies at Facebook to talk election security. How do I count the ways of what is wrong with this headline, let alone the story? Let me get this straight. Reps from the DHS, FBI, and ODNI met with tech companies at Facebook. What? What is going on? I mean, really? So the reps from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Department of Homeland Security met with counterparts at tech companies, including Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Twitter, to discuss election security. Wow, I don't even know. Am I speechless? What part of this doesn't make sense to me? Does this make any sense? Purpose was to build on previous discussions for further strengthening. Got another one. Oh, AJ's here. AJ, get the 5XRP. Thank you, my man. Appreciate that. 5XRP. I turned the sound back on, but I see a light flicker from the side of from the side of my brain. RTB in fashion, I'll send a bunch of point ones. He sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 17, I don't know, something like that. So the purpose was to build on previous discussions and further strengthen strategic collaboration regarding the security of the 2020 U.S. state, federal, and president. You know who wrote that little blurb? Nobody talks like that. Only people who write like that are attorneys. They didn't start out like that. It started out as like a normal sentence. Hey, we were taking a look at, and then it turns into, well, we can't say that. We have to say this. And sometimes I get stuff in my eye, but anyway, got something weird in my eye. And then it turns into this whole like garbly goop lawyer speak, and you're like, what are they saying really? What was the real purpose? Nobody even loses track. Facebook, they're going to Facebook, they're talking to Google about cybersecurity, or security of elections. I don't know, man. I'm not saying much more about that, but I'm just having a big problem with this. I saw this and almost first thing I went to look at, I'm like, no, this is on TechCrunch. It's not on The Onion. Who's messing with us? Is somebody messing with us? Because this sounded pretty odd. Earlier in the year, the Office of the Inspector General issued a report saying that the Department of Homeland Security has not done enough to safeguard elections in the United States. And that's right. And if Rain were here right now, he would tell you something is coming, and it is. The national ID is coming. I've heard him say it often enough that looks like it's probably what's going to happen. Companies have responded to the threat by updating different mechanisms. Well, the other big thing is that some of the voting machines, you got to do your own research on that, but you got to follow the money. You always follow the money. You can say follow the money, it still works for fiat, or follow the cryptocurrency or digital assets. Because basically, if you go and follow where it ends up, you'll find that some nefarious entities out there actually own some voting machines. But there's nothing weird going on there. Oh no, not at all. They don't have a horse in the race, so to speak, right? Yeah, okay, and I've got some swampland that's flooded behind me because I live right on the cusp of where it's all protected. If I go a mile up the road, that's where it ends, and that's, if you look on a map, that's where the Everglades are, and the Everglades are protected, and it is swampland. Most of Florida is water and swamp, and it's flat, and that's what's out there. So I live very close to that swamp land, and sometimes we get coyotes here, you get a lot of gators. Almost every one of these artificial community homing projects that they have a little lake, but somehow a gator gets in there. It just happens. These alligators. We actually have a very famous road. It's dubbed Alligator Alley, although it has a route number. But it basically goes from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida, and it was dubbed the Alligator Alley because the alligators, it's loaded with alligators. Most of the time there's fencing. It used to be in the old days it was just a two-way road where it was like traffic going one way, traffic the other, and they expanded that. But yeah, you just see alligators all day long, and they're mostly behind a wire fence. But that's where we live. That's our and it'd be cool. I always think, like, I'm so sick of seeing gators. I would like to see some kangaroos, man. Those are some badass little animals hopping around. Those little roos. I love that, man. It's just so cool. I'd love to give, maybe a little boxing duel with one of them. I like when you see those videos of them boxing. Maybe Ali could, elaborate a little bit there. Crypto Popo, Chip, you can't use that word, cusp. That's Jungle Inc.'s trademark. You know what, man? On the cusp. Thanks for letting me know that. I'm sure I'm going to have to pay a fine to Jungle. But thanks for busting me. You are the Crypto Popo after all. And if anybody's going to be on top of it, it certainly would be you. So thank you for that. But I'm going to see if I can get some licensing rights possibly. Maybe I can, rent it out once in a while if I don't overuse it. But that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. What is LaRoche saying? Matt LaRoche is saying that gators can climb fences. They can. These ones have that barbed wire that backs into them. So yeah, they can climb fences. And something, if you ever have a gator running after you, never run in a straight line. They can run pretty fast, those gators, but if you zigzag, they have a hard time doing the pivot and the turn. So just saying, never know, man. You could be in like a dangerous situation one day. All of a sudden, one of these little guys is chasing you, and you remember the one time when Chip told you don't run in a straight line, do zigzags, because the gator just gets all confused. He can run fast in a straight line, but he can't do the zigzags. At least that's what I heard anyway. Yeah, Leroy says, what is he saying? Don't go big or gray. Yeah, kangaroo, they're crazy. Yeah, sharp claws. I didn't know that. Man, they look so cuddly and cute. I just want to give them a hug, maybe sit down, watch them bounce through my backyard. Yeah, thanks for telling me that. I didn't know they had like teeth and all that. That sounds a little bit crazy. Crazy. Here we go. So this is actually an interesting story. You guys know we're being cookied to death, and the privacy, and yeah, how many websites you get tired of going to? Yes, I do accept the cookies. I don't like the cookies. Okay, you can't see the content. So now the IAB Tech Lab proposes a new tracking alternative to the cookie. Oh, great. So they're going to find a new, better, awesome way to track us. In a lengthy post, the IAB Lab, Jordan Mitchell runs through the history of tracking, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what they're trying to do here is they're trying to update it a little bit. The cookie's been around since really the inception of the internet. I wanted to think it goes back to 95, 96. It's developed a little bit over time, but we really haven't anything new. So they're basically developing a new way to track us. Yay! Yay! Tracking us. I love it. It's fantastic, isn't it? Dansky says, have a cookie. I'd love to have a cookie right now. By the way, what's your favorite cookie? I am really partial to chocolate chip cookies, although it has to be crunchy. Look at the super ad that just popped up. Let's get rid of that by the ad blocker there. This every once in a while, Crypto Eddie has her fluff pieces. I have my fun pieces. I don't know, I have a name for it really. But IKEA politely asks people to stop playing giant games of hide and seek in its stores. Okay, stop it. So we need to make sure people are safe. That's not really the real reason. They just don't want people coming. You go to a store to look at stuff, to buy stuff. You're not playing games in the store. It's not a gaming store. And there was one funny. Hang on, I might have to go back to the. I thought I saw. Holy cow! How do I get out of this? This is something. No thanks. Okay, what do? Scroll to continue. Holy cow! Now I'm on Toyota site. You see what I mean? It's all trickery, really. There we go. Here we go. I saw. I saw it. Well, maybe I don't know what I saw somebody. It was like somebody was hiding underneath one of those IKEA couches. Maybe it was another picture here. Let me see. Whoa, what is that? Yeah, there you go. See, so people are playing hide and go seek there, and which is actually pretty cool. I love IKEA. It's a phenomenal store. They've really engineered stuff. Although I don't like putting their stuff together, even though it's easy, it's always time consuming. And if you put the wrong piece in, it's all. There's the cool thing about IKEA stuff. There's no language stuff, but if you get the hole wrong or the screw wrong, that's why you got to be very careful that you don't. There it is. This is the money shot right here, man. I love this picture. This dude's over here, but he didn't pull his phone in yet. He's hiding underneath one of the sofas. This is fantastic. Yeah, so IKEA is like, they're kind of mad. So what does a story like this do? I'm telling you about this. What does this story do? It encourages people to go play hide and go. Like, that's an awesome place to go play hide and go seek. So I don't know, but anyway, I just thought it was a little fun story there. I had some other breakouts over here. What is this one here? I don't even know. It's a variety story. I don't like some of these ones. So yeah, Patreon. Patreon. A lot of YouTubers out there at Patreon and ways to support a creator, a content creator, whether it's a blogger, whether it's a YouTuber, whatever kind of content they're creating. And also Patreon's world famous for like we don't like your opinion, so you're banned from our platform, which is one of the things that I don't really care for. I don't like when anybody shuts stuff down. Nobody likes hate speech, but just don't. If your feelings are hurt and bruised because someone has a different point of view, they shouldn't get banned or take away the ability for them to make money. What they're looking into right now is providing loans to creators among other services. They're talking about possibly getting into insurance for content creators, which really is an opening. They're soliciting donation. Let's see. Also on there was another thing. Gosh, sometimes it gets hard to read. But anyway, that's interesting that Patreon's going into that. They're might actually find a better traction in this. You never know. I know they take 30%. I believe is it 30%? Don't quote me on that. And finally, I wanted to talk about this. This is good. Let's open this up, okay? So, you've been a photographer. Just imagine this. You've been a photographer your entire life, right? You learned your craft. You started on a camera. You worked up. You took photos on your phone. You just spent 10,000 plus hours honing your craft, like getting it right. You might have entered a few contests trying to get it right. And then along comes a scientist who's taken a few pictures at a birthday party of their kids, or sometimes they have those microscope cameras. So these scientists who photographed this supermassive black hole for the first time won $3 million. So this is pretty exciting for almost every photographer. What is this ad? Why is that blocking me? I don't like that. I don't even think I can get rid of it. But anyway, here it is, guys. I want you to take a good look at it. There it is. Yeah. And you're probably thinking to yourself, it's not even in focus, man. I mean, it won $3 million for this thing. It's like, who knows? It could have been somebody holding up a matchstick, with something blocking it. It could, do we know for sure? So photographers around the world right now are cringing. They're feeling very discouraged right now. They've been at this, they've been at it their whole life, trying to make a living at it. And along comes some, and I'm not discrediting the scientists, but they take this out of focus picture. I mean, it could have at least been in focus, right? And I get that it's the very first one, but this is a just discredit to all photographers in the world. I mean, even on my iPhone, even like if I take 20 pictures, I find I take a good one. It's not even in focus. I don't know, it kills me. It's kind of a weird thing there. But anyway, I thought it's interesting because black holes devour light. Getting one on camera had proved nearly impossible. You know, who knows really what this is? Like I said, I don't know what it is. I'm just surmising that they're right. It's, to me, I would like to see something. I might want to see a kangaroo or an alligator just in focus. You know, that's just me. So I feel like they've been grossly cheated here. And so I wanted to stop and go, you got to go. RTB, thank you very much. Still going an hour. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go an hour. I don't have DNI blood. I mean, I don't, man. I don't have that blood. But I'm not going to still be going an hour. Although one of these times I might do a marathon stream just to see how that goes. I want to thank you, RTB, for you know, for you know, throwing those 4,000 donations over today and lighting up my phone. Also on XRP Connie Angel, Jeff from How to Review, which I wish I was better at math, but it looks like he gave me on 18. XRP, Auburn Rain, a lot of .05s. Yeah, thank you very much. Really much appreciated, guys. And so let me know below. Let me know what your thoughts are of some of the things I said tonight. If any of it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you know, if you're gonna do a thumbs down, say, hey, buddy, I gave you a thumbs down. Because always one person says like, oh, I don't like this, you know, and they sometimes. But tell me why you didn't like it. What didn't you like? At least give me the benefit of knowing why. What did I fail you on? Did I not pique your interest? Did you not like my banter? I mean, just let me know. That's all I want to know. You know, so that's my take. Let me know what yours is down below. Chip out.